What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video by yours truly. This is going to be my day one progression guide for Etheria restart. Kind of more so just catching you guys up. You know how we all get into a new game and we kind of just want to touch base. What is Smack doing? What has been his like plan and overall outlook on how to get through this day to day? Is he refreshing? What is his development looking like in terms of his roster? That's what I'm trying to do. I want to get us all on the same page so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so first and foremost, top left-hand corner. Before the day was over with, the very first day, I was level 17 and a half. So this little extra experience you're seeing right here, I'm about to be level 19. That's some progression that I did today, day 2. So in one day, you definitely can get up to level 18 because I still had more refresh to do from the materials that you get. I'll just show you this right here. I just didn't use it. But I did max refresh. We'll go over that thought process later on in the video. I want to walk you guys through what my account looks like. Speaking of which, remember y'all saw what my launch plans were, right? We ended up getting the W on that. 10 rerolls in, Lily finally came home, which was a massive W, obviously. Rip Vulcan. Brother's still rerolling for Lily, I think. And then I got Chloros in addition to her. So once I got these two, I was like, I'm good to go. I did a couple of more pulls. 5-star wasn't coming, and I was like, oh, I'm good to go. Went to the selector, secured my Shiata, and that was the exact plan that I set out to do. In fact, I wanted Kloss. Kloss is the only character that I really wanted, and she didn't come home. But guess who came home? The next best option that I wanted, Hellkid. Now, this was at the end of the day of yesterday, which means I couldn't use him as I was pushing through all the modes. We'll go over those in a bit as well. So who was I using? I was using Valerian. Full disclosure, I've only bought a $5 monthly login pass. I haven't spent anything else. So a $5 monthly login pass allowed me to get a free Valerian from that. And every day I log in, I get a little bit of extra push on my resources. Nothing too crazy, but it does help. So that's my account. In terms of investment, I'm going heavy on the DPS. So my Shiata, my Leon, my Chloros are all well developed at this stage of the game. They're well developed. They've got full builds, they've got full sets, they've got their shells at level 30. I am not a fan of ascending these shells to a glowy 3-star. You see this glowy 3-star over here? I think that's just too expensive. It costs a lot of money. It costs 36,000, right? So if I were to fully ascend to a 3-star, 36K times 3, that shit gets really expensive. You know what I mean? So I personally don't go for that option. I've just been like trying to, after doing 3 accounts on the beta, you kind of learn a thing or two about managing resources, if you know what I mean. And so that's what I've been doing with that. In terms of like these 6 pieces, I'm going to build up on my DPS, attack, crit damage, crit rate. I'm going to take these at least to level 12. Crit rate, I always take to level 15 because it's so hard to come by. So you'll notice that with her, she's got crit damage and then 2 level 15 crit rates, right? And it's the same concept with her. She's got crit rate, crit damage, crit rate. They're so hard to come by that when I do come by them, I take them to level 15 because I know I'm going to be using them for quite a while, even when I get higher thresholds of it. But on this side, I always take this one to either 12 or 15 because it's flat attack boost. And these I usually leave at 9 or 6 for the most part. There is some incentives to take it to level 12 as you're doing your hyperlink activities, but that's pretty much the goals I have in mind. Now, in terms of ascending their materials, or I'm sorry, prowers is what they call them in here, their abilities, I always go all the way right here and then I stop, right? Because this is just free attack boost. Look at that. You get attack 25, 40, 5%, 60, 5%. And so all my DPS, I try to fill that all the way up on every single DPS just for that extra bit of damage. And then, of course, you're going to eventually get to a point in the game where your DPS are getting clapped because they're too squishy. And so you want to start filling that up as well, just so their survivability is looking good. One thing you're going to learn, especially if you watched me from HSR and you're coming into this game and you're new, is you do not get to like max everybody's abilities in this game. No, it's way more precious, way more finite and scarce. And so you want to decide who are you going to invest in first. In fact, admittedly, I'm still figuring it out. It's more than likely going to be Shiata and Lily for me first. But until then, your goal should just be to try to get everybody's you know, little in-betweens before you get to the big upgrades. You want to get those filled out. This does not come by a lot, okay? So that's what my roster is looking like. I am using her to get through Doki Doki. She's been rocking a pretty budget build. I'm just making sure she's built up with effect accuracy, which she is, and it works. And so right now, she's what my Doki Doki clearer. We'll go over the teams I've been using for those modes as well. She's just been collecting dust right now, but I am going to use her when we get into the PvP modes, more than likely. But she's been collecting dust, and that's it. Everybody else has just been riding the pine. I do want to build up dieting, but right now resources are pretty. You want to be smart with them, and because I have Chloros, I don't need to build up a dieting right now. They're both boss killers. I got my boss killer, so I'm chilling. So you'll come to find out that I got 2 DPS, well, kind of 3 DPS, 2 sustainers, which is Valerian, and then I've got my 3 supports right here. This whole entire roster, including her as well, these 9 characters have enabled me to push through all the modes pretty much. And the goal in mind is to always push to where I can't be pushed anymore. That is the name of these games. The vertical progression is highly concentrated when they first launch. And if you're not pushing egregiously and rapidly, there's going to be some events that are going to be coming out in the future. They're like right around the corner where you're going to get like double drops on experience. You're going to get double drops on something like GP outposts, right? That's what you need to level up your prowess. And if you haven't pushed, well, you're just going to be missing out on a lot more resources. Not only that, you're getting ahead of the curve, so to speak. Not everybody is max refreshing, except like probably the veterans. And so when you go into Arena Realm and you match up with people, you're going to be a lot more well-developed than they are. So you'll have an easier time getting through and pushing through those rankings, while the people who aren't max refreshing are going to be a little bit slower. I'm not saying you have to do that, but what I'm saying is in these kind of games, especially with PvP being involved, you can run into what I like to call ELO hell. League of Legends players are familiar with this. Whereas if you're progressing fast and getting through it, you can skip the ELO hell. But what's going to happen is if you don't max refresh and you're just going and taking it at pace, and then you go into the PvP modes, you're going to realize that everybody else is also well developed. Everybody else now knows how to play the game. And so it's a lot more of a difficult challenge pushing through those ranks. Does that make sense? And so it's kind of like you're getting ahead of the curve on that while also getting your account developed and well built. And of course, a lot of us at the end of the day, we like to grind, and we're trying to push through that end game so we can get that juicy gear and start seeing those beefy numbers. So that's my ideology in terms of like the max refresh, in terms of pushing everything. It's just to get my account built. Now you'll notice that in Etheria Restart, you can't just use one team to bypass everything. It just doesn't work that way. The game's much too diverse, in a good way, by the way. I love this. And so you want to make sure you're building up particular pieces to get through maybe barriers that one of your teams can't get through. Case in point, if my Shiata is going up against a grass, then I'm switching over to Leon. If I'm going up against a water, then I'm switching over to Shiata. If I'm going up against a fire, I'm switching over to Shiata, right? But you pretty much do want to have like 2 different DPS that can handle different scenarios. And then in terms of sustainers, honestly, even if they're weak to fire, or I'm sorry, if it's like a water, I'm still using my Hellblade. His shield is just too damn beefy. And if he dies, who gives a damn? He got the job done. That's how I view that. Now, what are we looking like in Grim Pursuit? It's the same concept. We were able to push all the way up to this. I just unlocked this guy today. Yesterday, in one day, I was only able to get to a potty because I wasn't high enough level to get to this guy. But if you were to use all your stamina refresh, you could have got to him too, because you would have hit level 18. And right now we're just pushing until we unlock the story mode. Another thing you'll find out is as you're pushing through this game, you're trying to get through the story, because the story often at times is going to unlock higher levels of investigation or higher levels of GP outposts. It does happen. You'll run into a situation where it says unlocked after clearing main quest 7-3, right? And so you want to make sure that you're pushing that story as much as possible so that you can get through this. Another thing that's worth mentioning is, Smack, are you actually using stamina to level up your characters even though you haven't got to like the end? Because this bothers me a lot in this game. I don't like using stamina until I've unlocked the very end. It feels wasteful, but I'm gonna be honest with you boys, you kind of don't have that luxury, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna unlock more and more difficult challenges. Let's just give you an example. Threshold, we're eventually gonna come up on Nightmare 1. It unlocks at level 25. And if you haven't been leveling up your characters, you're gonna find out that these guys don't play nice. They hit pretty hard. And so it's very important that not all of your stamina refresh, right? But a good chunk of your stamina refresh, maybe like 300 of them, is going towards you just doing a couple of investment here, right? A couple of investment here, GP outposts, just to get enough to slowly but surely chip away at vertically progressing your characters. Because if they're like level 4 or some shit and you're going in nightmare mode, you're going to find out they hit really hard. And it's going to get even worse as you unlock more of those levels. And so that's my thought process there. Now, my union is doing pretty good. All right, we're 30 out of 30. The way this works is very simple. I check in. I wanted to save this for the video. When you check in, you get 100 stability. Now, you want to be careful here, right? Because this is 100 stability that is immediately applied. You also get these two materials right here. You get your honor points, which contributes towards your union being leveled up, and then you get union coin. I want to explain all of that just so you guys understand. So I'm at a 211 stamina just because I checked in. So kind of, you want to be careful with checking in sometimes to not overflow on the stamina cap and use it right when you're like low on stamina, just to get a free 100. The other thing that's worth taking into consideration is make sure you're collecting all these weekly quests here and looking at all of this so that you're contributing to your union. And then union assists help people out. It's a way for you to get dupes of characters just by looking up here. Okay, I got 1 fire. Is there anybody who's using a fire character? This guy's using Chloros. There you go. Once they reach 4, then they get a little copy thingy. And after enough of them, they're able to get a dupe, which is real cool. And then you get paid. You get paid for it. So why not help other people out, right? So I feel like there's definitely going to be some people that just aren't doing this because they're not aware, right? So just make sure you're always using that up and helping everybody else out. If you got favorites, you got favorites, but make sure you're expending it. In the union shop, I always come in here and I haven't spent any of this yet because this is very important. This is that resource that I told you that's finite to increase your prowess. And then after I collect this, then I'll start like coming up in here. If I need more of this to get another person pushed to 5-star, then I'll buy this, right? But I think a lot of people might rush the pool. Pool's not really worth it. It's low priority for me. Now the members, what I like to do in here is I'm running the guild, right? So we got to do a bit of micromanaging up in here. I like to see who's contributing. And what I do is I'll click this and I'll see the highest contributors in the guild, right? 380, 340, 330, 300. These guys are doing a phenomenal job contributing and making sure that our guild is moving in a healthy place. Now I'm 240, but that's because I haven't played at all today yet. I usually get my grind in on the back end of the day and I catch up to everybody. But I always make sure I'm looking in here. I'm like, all right, bro, who's slacking? Ooh, this guy here is slacking. He might be a free agent very soon. But you want to make sure you're like looking at these type of things. It kind of keeps you aware, self-aware too. If you're slacking yourself, and then I'll come over here and I'll push through this and try to help my teammates out. Right now, we've already moved on to the dark mode. Very nice, which is cool. My guild's doing a phenomenal job pushing. We already successfully defeated this guy. It's really nice. We get the kill chest, even more resources. And what you can do here, in case you're curious, I like this aspect. You can come over to like challenge rankings. And you can go to personal ranking and you can see where you're at in the personal rankings. Yesterday, I was number 5. I was top 5. Today, since we're fighting a new boss, I'm not even ranked yet. We will get there eventually. And then you can compare to other unions as well. I love this mode, right? By the way, it's been really nice, like getting to see this just by like clicking this down here. You can just come over here to union. You can see what everybody's over here talking about, which are just spamming emojis and stuff. So yeah, that's what my union's looking like right now. Now, in terms of Arena Realm, I only did 1 day of it and I did refresh, max refresh in the Arena Realm too. Some of you might disagree in that regard, but once again, for me, it's more of a matter of trying to secure all the resources I can. If you come over here to the shop, this expires in 2 days and 13 hours, right? And so I'm trying to make sure that I have enough to buy this before the reset, because like I told you, this is very scarce. So I'm max refreshing just for these first couple of days, and then I won't ever do that again because it's not really a means, it's not necessary. But just to secure this before this expires, I'm gonna max refresh just to make sure I have 7,500, because I already spent 1,000 like a donkey trying to secure this. It is what it is, but that's something that's worth taking into consideration. Don't stress out too much about if you're losing on defense, because in the beginning we don't have a lot of characters, especially if you're not spending a lot of money. I got 7 victories and 8 losses, right? I'm not stressing it. The real part is pick your battles. The name of the game in Etheria is pick your damn battles wisely. You come over here, you come over to challenge. Do not come over here and fight the highest guy who's got 6 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. It's just not worth it. Make sure the victory is an absolute W. Look at this, 4, 4, 3, 3. I will clap these cheeks, no problem. And that's usually what I do. I pick my battles wisely, and I'm constantly getting through, moving at a pretty reasonable pace. Now, in terms of my summons, how's this going? I've actually, at this particular point, I've only done about 150 or so pulls on the permanent banner. That's the oh my God, dude, we were getting this question so much in live stream. Why the permanent banner? Why the permanent banner? The permanent banner is the most important banner to pull on because it contains pretty much every single character in the game. And some of these characters are just infinitely more valuable than others. So see right here, I'm 3 shy from 150 pulls in total. But like when you come over to drop rate details, I want Real Mocha, I want Klaus, I want I'll take freaking, oh, and Rosa. Those 3 characters, I still want all 3 of them. They're in the permanent banner, right? And before them, I wanted Chloros and I wanted me a Lily, right? The permanent banner has everyone. And then it's got a pity of at 50 you start getting increased chances of getting the characters before you go into the hard pity, which is 80, and guarantee yourself a summon. So it's very smart to go for this. Now, you want to know what's funny is I looked at this over here and I was like, ooh, I want a Sonya and I want a Dina. Actually, I'll take all 3 of these. These are fantastic SRs. I did a single 10 pull and I got a Freya and no SRs. But I'll take that Freya though. She's been providing some insane value, bro. I ain't gonna cap, we slept on Freya. That nerf wasn't that bad. She's been way more valuable than I thought she was gonna be, but we have not touched a single ounce of these banners here at all. In terms of my shop, I wanna go ahead and show that too. My shop is, let's go to the weekly pack. I am probably gonna bite on this because it's just so valuable. In fact, you know what? Let's just get it out the way. These are too damn valuable, even though it's still expensive for me. At least it's not 300. It's discounted to the point where you're not spending 300 on them. You're instead getting a 35% discount. So that's pretty cool. And I'm probably gonna buy it every time it refreshes, just to like rack them up. And then when that one lighter dark character drops, I got a couple of pulls to give it a fair shot. In terms of the crystal trade, this is the only thing I bought, like I said. Over here, we've kind of just been hoarding our resources. Oh, wait, I have enough now. Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. So yeah, we've kind of just been hoarding our resources on everything else. These are very important, right? So I'm probably gonna bite on this one because this is how you get your characters to max stars, to the 6-star rating. And I need to buy all of these as well. There's just a lot of good shops in here. And they all correlate to either, if you're doing pulls, this is how you get that currency. And the union shop, you're doing your union task, that's how you get that currency. The arena, you're doing the arena, that's how you get that. So I love how everything is so carefully integrated into the modes that you're gonna be doing every day. It's really cool. I like it a lot. This one's gonna be coming in with a couple of events. Don't stress about that one too much. Battle Pass, I'm coming along pretty nicely here. I'm at level 15. And I haven't bought the battle pass. I'm still on the fence about it. I may or may not. I'm still on the fence about it. We'll see what happens. I'm actually, if I do, I'm not gonna buy it until like I've already got through all the content in the game, because I'm kind of still trying to keep a pretty relatable experience to people who are free to play or very low budget like I am, getting the monthly pass and so what. So yeah, that's worth pointing out. Now, hyperlink charter is another thing you want to stay on top of. I'm always coming in here micromanaging all of my hyperlinks. Okay, I gotta fully equip somebody with level 12 epic modules. I gotta defeat Kururu normal 10 times. You can just go here, beat him up 10 times. I'll do that today easily. But I stay on top of these because they are also giving you very important materials to ascend. I'm coming over here and I'm constantly looking, reach player level 22. So everything's done. Once I do this, boom, I get more of that as well. Module modification. Just stay on top of it. It's that simple. Now, another thing I want to point out, it's very important, is you might be thinking, who am I going to use for this? Guys, keep in mind this expires in 5 days. I might have to make like multiple videos, bro. Like, don't make this mistake. I'm gonna have to do a Vulcan video. Don't make these mistakes. The Animus reconfigure, in my personal opinion, it should be saved for Leon unless you're going to be a Leon main, because the game's forcing you to invest more than you are comfortable with investing in. for Leon because there's a hyperlink tree that's giving you a bunch of stuff. But like, don't get me wrong, I want to use my Leon, but I don't want to use this shit on Leon, right? And so I'm going to probably use my Animus reconfigure on Leon, refund all the resources back, and get her back to a spot that doesn't involve me overly investing in her more than I'm comfortable with doing. You don't have to do that, but do know the first one is completely free. So if you don't want to do that strategy, you want to do somebody else that you think is not putting out the value that you wanted them to have, you can do it with somebody else, but just know after that first one, they start charging you crystals. So that is important to take into consideration. Anti-sync heroes, I've been getting through this pretty damn well. I haven't failed a single one yet. Today, we're going to try and push probably to get to Kraken. The one thing I like about anti-sync heroes is it has some really valuable, higher rarity, quality material gear that you can put on quite early, right? So we're pushing through this. We're doing as best as we can. Keep in mind, guys, you can always look at the leaderboards to see where you are on the list. There's some dude who made it to Rahu. That's insane. They're already going after it, man. But yeah, I like anti-sync heroes because in here you get a free pull just by knocking out the first one, and then you get a free pull again. Then you get some resources. These are very important for ascending your character's prowess. And then finally, at the end, you get whatever it's promoting at the front screen. But that's my anti-sync heroes. Phantom Theater, you need your union. Make sure you're using your union to help you out with Phantom Theater. It's very simple too. You can go to create a room, right? You can go to invite a player, go to union members, and just start inviting players from your union that are the highest level, right? Get the whales to help out, bro. Hey, Desrix, get your ass in here and help me out, bro. So you're doing that because every day you get to do Phantom Theater, and every day you do it, and you want to get triple S if you can, bro, because you're going to get all of these resources. You get freaking, bro, max rarity XP. Can't pass that up. So yeah, you're going to want to use join a union and try to get a union member to help you out. Ping them in the freaking chat if you can, but try to push this as much as you possibly can. That's pretty important. Now, what are we looking like here? We literally cannot unlock Nightmare, right? So we're just sitting here chilling. I got a perfect team for Terramaton to where I have a guaranteed 10 out of 10 completion rate, right, bro? I got the team, bro. I got Hellkid, Chloros, and Leon, and then I've got my Gray in there with a Freya. I don't even need what's her name right here. I just don't need her, Lily. But you literally just, what I like to do obviously is I click these on and I make sure I'm always targeting him. Sometimes this dude on the left is a pain in the ass, but you kind of want to hope that your AoE is getting rid of him. But there's also there's a number of ways you can get rid of Terramaton. There's also DPS nukers like Chloros and Diting that just snipes him and just ignores the guy on the left. My whole strategy here, boys, is just fire versus grass. It's that simple, right? And Chloros just starts popping off. He's the first one to ult. And so now when she ults, she does 4 ticks. Boom, look at that. He's down to 4 already thanks to Freya. That's why I have Freya in there instead of Lily. It's because she just gets Chloros stacks popping off. Then I get that shield up before he gets the chance to attack. We're beefy. Chloros follows up. Boom. It's just nuke tactics, bro. I love this. This is what I was telling people. They was trying to doubt my Hellkid before this game came out. I was like, bro, Hellkid is where it's at. Look at that. No damage taken by the team at all. GG's, easy clap. That's a guaranteed 10 out of 10, 100% win ratio. And that's because bro, Hellkid's just built different. He just tanks the whole thing. Nobody dies, everybody wins, and it's pretty cool. In terms of Doki Doki, it's not guaranteed only because I need a freaking second. I need a second CC'er. The way I like to do things is I like my second CC to go after I've already cleared all of these guys. But Vulcan did explain to me that once you make it to Hell mode, you're just not going to be able to one-shot the whole entire wave unless you have insane gearing. The one downside about using Hellkid in this mode though is that he's weak to water and they do usually focus the hell out of him, which can cause me to fail a run. But I'll go ahead and show you guys what this looks like. It's pretty nice. So she starts off buffing, I believe. Oh, she buffs Hellkid. Yeah, see, I don't want her buffing Hellkid. That's actually not good. It's because Hellkid has the most attack on the team. She's supposed to be buffing my Shada. And honestly, I could take off one attack on Hellkid, put on a crit rate, and my Shada probably have the most attack on the team, which would fix everything. But I don't think it matters. I think we're still fine. The good thing about her using her stuff on Hellkid is he gets to pop another shield earlier. So that's really nice, right? Which we're going to go ahead and get this guy up out of here, and then Hellkid will pop a whole nother shield earlier, which is crazy. Okay, so this guy's just being a bit annoying. I think somebody probably missed a crit. Not a big deal. All right, so now we're into the second wave. Hell Kid, before they get a chance to go, is gonna pop a whole nother shield since she ended up casting it on him. And so my team's safe. All we need now is just another ult proc from this little girl right here, and then we're chilling. She's gonna put them all to sleep. If she ults again, they are cooked. If you do things correctly though, if Lily puts the buff twin trick on my Shada can literally one-shot them. Like, see, the only reason they're not one shot is because Shada's barely getting her second soul flame over there. So this is scuffed only because they're buffing the wrong person. They're supposed to be buffing Shada. But even then you could see it just doesn't matter, right? Shada's gonna clap his cheeks, and then this dude's the only one left. Hopefully we get an auto attack where he gets put to sleep. Don't miss it. Put him to sleep. Not nice. Put him to sleep. So look, we're chilling. Bam. And then Shada goes again. She's a monster. So that's how that works. Again, the problem with this team though is Hell Kid has a crap ton of attack because his shield scales with his attack. And so you want to make sure if you're ever running into that situation where Hell Kid's like no diffing her attack, what you should do is just come over here and make Hell Kid a DPS. You can go crit rate, crit damage, attack percent. And that will make him take away from some of that attack. Your shield won't be as big either, but I swear, Hell Kid's shield is so solid that even with just one attack main stat and you're rocking this stat with a good shell, it's more than enough. And then more importantly, she one-shots the whole goddamn second half. But yeah, that's what's going on, man. I think that's everything. I tried my best to explain everything that I've been doing. I'm pretty sure I went through every mode I possibly could, but this was pretty much like day one progress. I'm gonna try and keep you guys in the loop on how my progression is going day by day, because there are gonna be some walls that you're gonna have to overcome. But this is the team I'm using against this guy. Pretty freaking easy, honestly. But that is my progression. Hopefully I brought you guys some value. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.